Hey there, everyone. How are you all doing today? I am the Perpetual Noob, and welcome back to another episode of Dragon's Dogma, the Noob Edition. I guess I'm not going to keep that title. It's not really all that catchy. So, today's episode, we finally finish the Wyrmking's Ring quest. I know, it's been something like 4 episodes in the making, but it is finally going to come to a close. We're finally going to finish. We're going to finally turn it in.
Let's keep going.
I thank you all for your patience in dealing with the fact that got a little bit distracted, accepted Sir Mercedes' quest at the same time I accepted this quest, which of course took a fair amount of time to finish. And then of course there was the other smaller quests, and then just the general running around and dealing with RPG stuff like the inventory management and that sort of thing, as we saw in an episode a couple episodes ago. So we've only got a little ways left to go before we actually reach the Blue Moon Tower, which is where the evil wizard Salomet has left him, has kind of kept himself hidden away from the world, alone, which frankly, in my opinion, was probably one of the silliest things that he could do. But hey, that's what most bad guys will do. They run away and they hide, and they will surround themselves with a bunch of easy to murder minions like these skeletons here. And then they'll hole up in one giant room where the final boss battle can happen, and they think themselves so powerful that they'll just murder whoever comes to stop them. But seriously, we're a team of 4 badass MFs. Bamfs. Yes. Realize I could have swore a little bit more, but I don't know. Just wasn't feeling it. So, while we do kind of take this slow walk to the Wyrmking Ring's epic final battle, I'll just start kind of talking about a couple other things that have been going on. Finally got to see the second Hobbit, which actually I'll say was better than the first one. I don't know if you all feel the same way, but that's what I came out of there feeling pretty darn awesome. And of course thinking about it as I watched, Legolas run around and do all sorts of crazy elf stuff, and I watched even the dwarves run around, and I watched, even Bilbo run around and hide from Smough. Hopefully I'm not making any spoilers. Hopefully my viewers, you've either read the book or seen this movie. If not, well, Bilbo does hide from the dragon at some points. Doesn't really ruin the story, but either way, just love watching all of that and thinking, these guys are like epic level characters. If we were to turn this into a D&D game, which, I mean, let's face it, a lot of Dungeons and Dragons was based on, Tolkien-esque characters and races and just the world in general. I'm not saying that all of Dungeons and Dragons was solely 100% based on, what Tolkien wrote, but it influenced the world of Dungeons and Dragons pretty heavily. But it's just so crazy to watch. Like these, these heroes, but they are like, we're talking like level 20 plus, because they're just so freaking good. I mean, come on. Legolas is jumping all over the place, shooting everything, doing all this crazy stuff without breaking a sweat. And I'm thinking, Yeah, okay, so that was an attack roll. That's an attack roll. That's an attack roll. That didn't fail. That's an attack roll. That didn't fail.
If what I've heard holds
So it
true,
was kind of
we'll
crazy
find the wizard
just to
here.
see all of the all the stuff that these characters, and yes, I understand that they're supposed to be, you know, the
We must
heroes
be
and so on
above.
and so forth, but
Onward, master.
still, I've never played a campaign at that sort of level. So every D&D character I've ever played is, maybe I'll hit, maybe I'll dodge. Who knows? There's still a whole lot of luck and chance involved, and those characters, there's no chance. Like, there's almost no luck. They're just going to be awesome. So, but whatever. It was still a very entertaining movie, and the fights were pretty awesome to watch. And Smough was, holy cow, Smough was cool. Very, very cool. I mean, just the scale. He's a dragon. He's got scales. Sorry, I didn't mean to make that kind of joke, but the scope of his horde and just of his size, very cool. Very cool. So here we are, slowly ascending the Blue Moon Tower, slaughtering all of the weak little minions. And I'm still trying to make this act of vengeance move work. But again, with me not taking taunt, it's completely pointless. And I just look kind of silly sitting there. But, oh well, it's what happens. And I recognize I can't do anything about those archers that are across from us right now. I can only do things about the archers directly in front of us. And there he goes. So we thank goodness we never get down to just one minion. So you get down to just that one minion and it'll be like the theory of ninjas. You get down to just that last ninja and it's gonna be the hardest ninja to fight ever. But I guess that's what Salamet's supposed to be to this fight, you know. He's the last guy, and therefore he's gonna be the hardest to beat. And yeah, look at that, he doesn't die. So I just knock him off the edge, and I have to still go deal with him. Of course, at this point I was starting to wonder if I was gonna be stuck. Because to me, I was like, oh my god, I don't think I can jump up here. And that's why I'm kind of wandering around. I'm looking for stairs. But look at that! Able to make it just fine. I still have, even at this point in the game, still not entirely sure how to move through the environment. Ah, well, I've got a giant sword and I kill things quickly, so it doesn't matter. I don't need to know how to move through the environment. Started back at work today. Was on vacation for the last 2 weeks, I mean for Christmas and New Year's and all that. So today was my first day back. And just as anybody happen to work for a company that's looking to hire maybe a systems engineer, electrical engineer, minion, anything? Not like, oh, I showed up at work today and I was fired. No, I showed up at work today and it was kind of boring. I had something like 50 emails to go through, but almost sadly there was nothing pressing that had to be done right away. You know, there were no emails or even meetings that were just like, yes, I have to attend this, and it's going to be an intense event, and I'm really going to have to put my nose to the grindstone. I kind of just showed up, and it was like I hadn't been gone for 2 weeks, which is just kind of weird. I mean, I definitely spoke to a lot of people that didn't go away for any of the holidays. So it means that there were still people at work for those 2 weeks that I was gone. but I guess they didn't really do too much. Or they got, or more likely, with all the other people gone, they just went and got all the shit done that they've been meaning to for the last, 12 months. they were finally like, oh, hey, we're not gonna be bothered by everyone. Let's just get our work done then. Yeah, if you read Dilbert, it's eerily similar. I was gonna say scarily similar, but it eerily works better. Scarily, I don't think is even a word. And we all know how I am about speaking properly and using proper English and shit. But yeah, Dilbert comics do a pretty good job of surmising my work environment, which is a little depressing. Won't lie, it's a little bit depressing. So you may recognize this landscape. I know it's dark, which is really annoying actually. Man, this game to me is completely different when the lights go out and all you've got is your lantern. I mean, yeah, I can see, thankfully there's light here, but yep, almost ran right into that. Or right down it, I suppose, since I would have fallen to my death. And at first I don't realize that I can just walk along the edge. Again, my environmental awareness with this game is pretty poor. Ooh, look, a light cure. Kind of handy. It's kind of a bit of a cure-all item. Heals, gives you stamina, takes care of some debilitations. But still, you may recognize this from the Griffin fight. And I don't know how many of you saw me look left, open up the gate, I'll call it, the barred door, and then turn right and open up the gilded door, and essentially take the long way through the tower to get back to the top of it. Which there was no rhyme or reason for it beyond me forgetting how the tower was laid out. Oops. What can I say? I didn't remember the tower well enough. And I mean, who can blame me? If you've been following me, you've seen that for the last, couple hours I haven't been to this tower. last few, I don't know, it's been a while. And always a smart thing to do right before an epic boss fight. Save your game. Especially with the way this game kind of, depending on where it like puts you. It might put you back at the most recent autosave. Might put you somewhere else. So I figured I'd save now just so that in the event that I died in this fight, I'd be able to spawn right back where I wanted. Or at least everything else would be killed off already and I wouldn't have to go through it all again. Cut through them like a knife through butter, but whatever. Alright, here we go. Big fight.
Truly, the Arisen is a profession given to leisure. Or do you hope to earn your meals catching stray wizards for fear of actually facing the dragon? Alas, I'm not one for company. Let us be done with this. You've come to your journey's end!
Alright, here it is. The epic final battle. Oh, seriously? Yeah, that's what went straight through my head when I got close. And he just teleports away. And then I got close again. And he teleported away again. I could... This fight got so annoying. Look at this. I can't hit the bastard. Also, another point where I'm wishing I had some ranged weapon. Just some way to deal with it. To maybe stand in one place and just shoot at him. Because clearly, when I got close to him, whoop, he just goes all Nightcrawler on me and bamps away. And my pawns aren't doing anything worthwhile either. They're getting too distracted by all the ads. And, you know, I understand that in most MMOs, you're going to want to deal with the ads as fast as possible because they're going to go straight for the healers, and you don't want to lose your healers. But in this, come on, guys. Just freaking deal with a guy that I can't hit. Recognize that I can't hit him, and go after him yourselves. Because again, total swing and a miss. No, I think I can hit you at some point. And finally I get to. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it was just a timing thing within the fight that, you know, the game's like, okay, well, for the first minute and a half he's going to be a real douche nozzle and just hide and teleport away whenever the player gets close. Because now he just sits here and he's taking a beating from me. I mean, look at that damage. And soon you're going to see the most epic death scene ever. I'll be quiet so you can fully appreciate. Yeah. The end. That's it. That was the great and epic and powerful Salomet, who fell to his death at 20%. Like, he had like, well, maybe 10% health left. Like, you don't even get him all the way down, and he then stumbles back, somehow drops a ring that, you know, I would have assumed was on his hand. Call me crazy. On his hand, he then somehow drops it before falling to his death. And it's just, come on. That's how that goes. You build him up to be this great and powerful wizard. And then he's got, like, less health than the Griffin. I mean, maybe his spells were supposed to hit really hard, but were so high level that none of us cared anymore. I don't know. It was just it seemed like such an anticlimactic end to this whole quest. And all of a sudden, it goes to, you know, you get him down low enough, and it goes to a cutscene of him falling. And and shouting, you know, and starting off with, my talisman, my ring. Like, what is that? You know, have him at least, like, explode. Like, he tries to command a spell and a fire, and he loses control of it because he's too damaged. You know, he's taken too much of a beating. He's all of a sudden like, oh no, the power! Ah! That would have been kind of cool. But no, he just falls off. And even, I mean, now I swear, I thought my pawn right there, Polgara, was going to just walk right off the edge. Up, AI, whee! So rather than take the exceedingly long way back, just might as well warp back. But there it is, the pretty epic conclusion to the Wyrmking's Ring quest. I apologize that it really was kinda lame. And again, maybe it's because we are geared like crazy. You know, we've got some really good gear. were really high level, and so maybe that was it. He's supposed, maybe Salamet's supposed to be this glass cannon wizard that hits like a truck, but only when you're like level 30 or something. I don't know. It was definitely just, oh, felt kind of silly, but I had a good laugh with it because actually, during this gameplay, my younger brother is visiting, and so he's played through the whole story at this point. So he's talking to me about the various things that he's done, and so we're sharing a laugh at Salamet's death there, because we were both like, come on, you built him up to be so awesome, and then you just kind of let him, I don't know, just fall over the cliff, calling out for his ring, which somehow fell off of his hand. I mean, maybe show you cutting off his hand. Show that the player chops off his hand, as in that cutscene, and that's why Salamet's all stumbling backwards, because I would be pretty stunned too if I had my hand cut off. And that's why he leaves the ring, because you chopped off his hand. And that's why he falls to his death, because you chopped off his hand, and he's, in shock, and there goes, the majority of his power and such. I don't know. I mean, obviously I still really enjoy this game, and I'm really just nitpicking at various things. Obviously that's a minor complaint, and I'm not knocking the game as a whole, because one enemy, one boss type enemy had a pretty lackluster death scene. And honestly, if I wasn't so strong, I would say that there's a pretty good chance that fight probably would have been really, really tough, because I would, his spells would blow me up, literally. Meh. So that is what it is. Now, one thing I noticed, which is actually I only noticed because I've been rewatching all this footage. Oh, and then I see that. Oh my gosh, look at that skill. Proficiency. And then clout. Oh my gosh. I saw those, and my brain said, yes, I must have both. Because seriously, that's all my character is about now, is having the highest strength he possibly can. And I see an augment that greatly augments my strength. Woo, yeah, sign me up for that. And then also proficiency is great, because then I can, I can go a bit more nuts with my offensive skills. Now I can do, mighty slashes and indomitable rushes and all that, and as often as or more often, before I have to recharge. And that's awesome. Now, I won't lie, at this point, I'm kind of actually taking a little bit of my brother's advice, which is why I've got high bolide in there now. Because I was using, geez, what one was I using? I was using another fire one. Oh, Whirlwind Slash. Never remember that one. Even though it's like my most favorite move, I never remember its name. And, oh, not Indomitable Rush, it's Indomitable Lunge. But either way, so now I switch it up, because really I've been looking for a skill that hits an area of effect, but a circular area of effect. Like, I'm looking to be something that will hit multiple targets around me. Obviously the Indomitable Lunge hits everything ahead of me, but we've seen how accurate I am with that. So, in reality, it's kind of like, okay, I need something that's going to actually hit in a broader circle to better my chances at actually hitting enemies. Oh, but yeah, my brother was recommending that I swap from, I think it was High Ingle is the other fire spell that I was using, and he recommended I swap it to High Bolide. And now it's been so long, I actually can't quite remember. Yeah, I do apologize. This footage. Oh man, when did I actually play this? This was like in November. Yeah, there's been a lot of stuff has happened since November. You know, all the holidays, work, some trips, all that sort of good stuff. So I don't quite remember why he said use High Bolide versus High Ingle, but I figured why not? I'll give it a shot. And it's the worst that can happen. It doesn't work as well as High Ingle, and so I go back to an inn and swap it out, which is pretty fantastic. I actually, as I've played through this game more and more, I've really come to like the skill and augment and vocation system. Now I say that, and I may never change from the warrior vocation now that I have it and have been playing with it and using giant weapons. Oh, I will correct that. I will be going back, probably back to like the other vocations I've already had, such as the rogue and the assassin vocations, specifically because those are both at max rank, and so once I picked up everything in the warrior vocation that I want, I'll swap over to one of those and pick up all the augments and skills I want out of those vocations. And yeah, I will probably go back to fighter and try that for a little bit, specifically to get the sinew augment. So I think that's the one that ups my carrying capacity. That's really the one I'm kind of looking for, because obviously as a warrior, you're carrying some heavy stuff. You see me every time I go into the item menu. I'm always at average or heavy. Always. I think right now, if you just took everything off of me except my equipment, I would still be at average. That's not good. So let's see, from here, it's time to go turn in. I think this is where I plan to actually turn in the Wyrmking's ring. Oh, and I know why I'm taking so long here. I'm actually talking with my brother about, wait, how did these quests work? Specifically, like the Nameless Terror quest, because I've had it now for, well, you've probably seen it on my list. It's been there for several episodes, and so far as I can tell, because unfortunately the game's not tracking it, it apparently is related to the roads leading into Grand Soren, and the and various bandit groups will jump you at various points along the roads that lead into Grand Soren, and the only way you can tell that they're part of that quest is because they are bandit groups that will actually like call you out. So you'll see like text pop up in the middle of the screen with one of the bandits actually having like a name and calling you out and saying, "Oh, we're gonna get you, Arisen." Meh, meh, meh. Stuff like that apparently. And I think I've only encountered that twice so far. And my brother was saying there's something like 5, which, ugh. And I'm not too happy, but I'm having to pick that up at 20,000. But I needed more fairy stones. I like to have at least 2 on me. That way there, I can bail. And then if I happen to forget that time that I've come back to Grand Soren, I'm not completely hosed because I still have 1 more left. So I like to keep 2 fairy stones on me. Meh, just what I like to do. And again, yeah, I keep forgetting that checking out, you gotta hit the start button.
I'm sure you'll find anytime.
But so now, we're gonna go on a little bit of a journey. I'm hoping I remembered to actually turn in the Wyrmking's ring quest.
Well, hello.
Now, I don't actually, now I'm thinking about, I don't think I do it now,
A figurine. I know not. As they are meant
but
for a
I
record
will
smith,
before this episode's over,
you might speak with one such as them.
I think.
You
Oh
should
goodness.
bear in mind that the
It's
idol
tough
may
to,
come
it's a
in
little tough to
several
actually keep
different
track of
forms. Make
what,
a note
which
why Smith
episode
does
contains
sell,
what.
but that's as the
Especially
stories
because,
tell.
you know, in these last few days I've been looking at several, and
You'll find
even,
naught but the
and you
finest
may have
wares
noticed
here.
that some of the titles, at least of one of my episodes a little bit earlier on and a couple of days ago, the title ended up changing because, well, I got it completely confused with another one that I was editing at the time that I uploaded that episode, and yeah, whoops. So my apologies for being a little bit sloppy in posting these videos. I will wholeheartedly admit, I'm still getting used to this. Still getting used to the cycle of recording, editing, posting, especially with these videos with the post commentary. Unfortunately, my brain does gets a little scrambled, and I'll forget which one I'm actually on, or well, actually, I should say, especially when uploading, I'll forget which one I'm actually uploading at the time and what was contained in that episode. Because, like I said, I'm already on to the next one and editing that one. Oh, so it looks like, yeah, I won't be turning in the Wyrmking's ring quest right now. Now, instead, I'm off to Casardis. Because I'm a moron. Plainly put, I'm a moron. I unfortunately thought that that my copy of Dragon's Dogma was the full version, Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen, the one with all of the DLC on it. I thought this, not because the game disc said it, or because the game title or the save screen said it, but because the trophies list said it. The title for this game in the trophies is Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen. Well, it's not. It's just plain old vanilla Dragon's Dogma. Sadly, because where we're going now that we're going to Casardis, for any of you who currently own all of the DLC or own Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen, you know that there is the what is it? Crud. The DLC area, Black Water Isle or Bitterleaf Isle. I'm getting the name wrong. I know I am. I think I'm mixing them. Might be Blackleaf Isle. Whatever. The DLC area is accessible from Casardis at night. And my brother was like, "Oh yeah, it's a great place to go. You should totally go there." And I was thinking, "Oh okay, yeah, I'll go there and I'll beat the DLC and become super uber powerful, and then I'll go fight the dragon, and it'll be like a cakewalk because now I'm, you know, super high level because I did stuff outside of the main story, and I'll kick the crap out of the dragon, and it'll be awesome." So he was telling me, well, you got to go to Casardis, you got to be there at night, and then there'll be, you know, a place for you to go to get to the DLC area. And so I'm all super excited, but of course, we're also trying to take care of some other stuff like that nameless terror quest, because he was talking about how, I think, he was saying, I think that there's one of those groups in the cottage near Grand Soren if you get there at night. And so I was like, okay, well, we'll take that route, as we head down to Casardis, and we'll see if we can kill, 1,000,000 harpies with one stone. Yes, I kind of wasted that because it's obviously 2 birds with 1 stone, but I'm fighting harpies at this moment. Come on, go with me. Understand my madness and my awful jokes. So that's where we're heading now. We're heading down to Casardis because I somehow thought that I had the full version, the Game of the Year edition, essentially, is probably what you could really kind of call it. No, not at all. Oh well. I mean, I guess I'm being a little bit excessive here because I'm keeping all of this footage as we make this run down here. Sorry, I knew that was coming, and oh my gosh, it makes me giggle every time. Just because the NPC, the pawn is just staring at that boulder. I mean, not doing anything else, just staring at it, standing there, waiting for it to smash her in the face. Oh wow, I still laugh at that. In any case, that wasn't on purpose, to make that happen. But it did. Oh, and then I totally steal everything that these people own.
What use is chasing after coin?
Oh, and then, yeah, my pawns were being, pretty hilarious.
What use is chasing after coin when the dragons come?
All she wanted to do was bust open that, jug or barrel or whatever. I don't even remember now. And instead punches that guy square in the face. Oh, sorry, hang on. That's. Whew. It shouldn't be as funny as it is. I'm sure that shouldn't be, but I don't care. It made me laugh, damn it. You kids. So in any case, yeah, we just kind of started wandering. I mean, it's what I do in this game. You've seen me do it a bunch, and I plan to figure I'll keep the footage. There's maybe a little bit of overcompensation because of the fact that I lost a fair amount of footage. From like the first time I finally just, I got to Blue Moon Tower, before we fought the Griffin, and I didn't end up recording the end of the thieves quest. So I figure why not? We'll just put it all here. Because I guess I'm playing this one through now, especially now that I've actually got recording hardware and so on and so forth. And yes, I know I started you all off at like 40 hours into my game, but I guess that's another reason why I'm just keeping all of it. You guys, you'll all get to see it, the whole thing, top to bottom. Screw-ups and everything. Though now, I'm sure you've kind of might have caught it. Now I am editing out loading screens. Yeah, it's a minor thing, but I figure you guys don't want to see that. What's the point? Especially in something like this, especially in something where I'm already watching, or playing an edited video for you. Why keep the loading screens then? Just empty time. Even at least with me, taking a very long trip back down to Casardis for no good reason,
I'll heal your wounds.
is at least still some action happening and still some gameplay happening. And that's what I want to share with all of you. You know, I want to share, I guess, you know, I want to share my love for playing video games with anybody who's willing to watch and listen.
Every beast has its
You know,
weakness.
and I am sorry that the I'd say the frequency of the uploads has been sporadic at best. Even during the Souls giving, you know, uploads and whatnot, those were somewhat on a good frequency. You know. Oh yeah, check this. I don't know if this might be the first time I've actually been blinded in a recorded session. I kind of like that they do it this way. It's not pure black. It's just really hard to see anything. The only nice thing is that that I have a giant sword, so I can just keep swinging and I'll hit something at some point. But I don't know. I think that's a really cool way to do the whole blindness thing, especially for an action RPG. You know, rather than what most RPGs, and action RPGs will do is like, oh, you're blinded, so your hits miss now, and you're just, and you know, the screen, your vision is unobscured for the screen, and you're just swinging anyways, but now you're missing, or you have a 50% chance to miss. Whereas this game is like, nope, we've blacked out the screen primarily, and you can keep running around. It's just you're gonna have trouble finding your enemies if you don't have a giant weapon or giant AoE spells. So yeah, pretty cool effect right there.
A way castle, perhaps.
It is kind of weird that the NPCs always say they always say the same things when you hit the same spots. I mean, to the point where you can almost you can essentially predict like when they're gonna say certain things. And I love it when you're heading south. They'll talk about, well, if you keep going north, you'll hit the city. And you kind of look at them and go, we've already hit the city. Why does your logic have you keep saying that? Ugh. Silly NPCs. They forget so easily. It's like they have the memories of a goldfish. Gold or blood? That's definitely gonna be blood. Wham! Preferably yours. Weak little bandits, always fun to slaughter. But yeah, I'm keeping this footage because, you know, it's still something I ended up doing. It's still, you know, XP. It's still discipline XP, because I mean, technically, I think my vocation is at max rank at this point. Oh yeah, it is. That was in a previous episode. Oh, but I wasn't talking about keeping this particular footage and not editing it out. I was talking about all my my spotty upload frequency, and how I was apologizing for that. And it's true. I am sorry that it hasn't been as consistent as even I would like it to be. But I don't know. I'm still feeling it out on how to properly get into that cycle of, you know, recording, editing, uploading. And I would eventually like to get to the point where I can have a video up for you every day. At least, you know, a new video each day. That's my ultimate goal here. And look at that Corona slash. That's what I've been looking for. Yeah, exactly. Something that hits everything around me. Absolutely fantastic skill, that one. Especially for me. And look at this! Look at these guys! Yeah, just beating up on that poor soldier. I'm sorry, I lost I lost the plot again on that. So yeah, would like to eventually get to the point where I'm able to provide daily videos. Generally they'll be playthroughs, but I do have machinations of maybe fighting game content montages, either to highlight my ultimate failures or flashes of brilliance. I guess I'll see which I have more of, and we'll go from there. Because, you know, I'm not quite sure what I'll have more of yet. Or maybe I'll just post some, you know, even just some fighting game footage, you know, of me just sitting in ranked queues and playing some games and post that instead. But either way, I'm still putting together more stuff. I still have one more episode of Dragon's Dogma to go, and I guess that is the actual episode where I'll finally turn in the Wyrmking's Ring quest. So that quest will have taken us like from acceptance to finish, apparently about 5 episodes. Ha! Well, isn't that... okay, sorry about that. See, kind of forgot which episode I was on, even here. But yeah, that will... I can assure you, I know for sure, that it will be taken care of next episode. And, I don't remember exactly what else will end up being taken... Oh, actually, next episode will deal with another pretty epic fight. And actually, a real epic fight. So, I hope to see all of you next time.